Hey everybody, it's Tommy Canale and welcome back to the Jim Feist Pro Football Handicapping Show here at DeMarco's Pizzeria and Wine Bar, located 9785 West Charleston Boulevard, here on the patio on a beautiful January afternoon. Right now with me is just the only guy we need to have. Really, he's the leader in sports information and sports gaming industry with numerous years of experience, the man, the myth, and the legend, Jim Feist. How are we, Jim?
When you use that word numerous, is that a compliment?
Yes, because that means you're well experienced.
Like a fossil?
No, you're experienced person.
Experienced.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. You know, because I know one day I'm going to be where you are, and I want people to say I'm experienced and not any other word.
I'm hoping that one day you'll get to it. Yes.
So we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about this. And Jim, we're going to do something we haven't done, and you and I are going to do a show. And
we've never done a show just the two of us.
And it's going to be fun.
Yes.
And because of your experience, we'll be able to do this. But you and I were talking before about the Indiana-Miami national championship game for college football. And Indiana fended off Miami. And I was impressed with both sides of the ball. And as I want to get into it with you, I was more impressed that Indiana didn't fold. I thought they might fold in the second half, but they didn't.
No, I mean, classy operation. Signetti does a fantastic job. He definitely has control of that team. The quarterback is amazing. They have a lot of intensity, fortitude. You know, with the other side, Miami has some players. I think Miami has, 6, 8 guys that are going to the NFL.
I tell you what, both sides of the line are good. They're big. They're strong. They're fast.
And when you look back at the week before when they beat Mississippi State, I mean, they had to adjust because they've never seen a quarterback quite like Mississippi State has. I guess he's not coming back, though. Is he tried to get a fifth year? I think
he didn't. Chambliss,
He's going to go to the pros.
Yeah, he's going to go to the pros.
I know he's small, but he's got a lot of speed, and he can do a lot of damage if he gets the right offensive line there. But they made an adjustment. The Mississippi State offense, if they can keep doing with that, all that motion that they have, that's the future of college football. It's not the old 3 yards in a cloud of dust type of thing,
right?
Like we used to see. This is the nil. You know, the nil was making everything like everybody's complaining about it, everything, that portal. But reality, it's bringing college football to another level. Now we have other cities other than just the SEC is going to win. It's going to be Georgia. It's going to be Alabama. It's going to be Clemson. Now we got every city in the country. You know, if they have a billionaire backer, they can win I mean, look at Texas Tech. They're loaded with money down there.
Yeah.
Mark Cuban is back in. He could back Indiana. They might come back because it's going to be difficult. All these teams now can raise to the level of the national championship because of the money coming in, paying these players and bringing a big player. It's exciting for college football.
So let me segue then into Signetti and to the NFL coaching carousel that's going on. He says he's coming back because he wants to prove people that he can do this a second time and this wasn't a fluke. But we know money talks. Does he stay at Indiana, or is there going to be a big enough payday to bring him to the NFL?
Well, what are they paying him?
I don't know the number, but it's not. It's a big number.
12?
It could be
$8 million a year.
$8 million a year.
He gets to renegotiate for the terms of his contract, so it's to be determined.
To be determined to go up. So this could be in double digits. He could be 10, 12 a year.
Somebody comes in and says, "Okay, I'm going to give you 5 years, $20 million a year." How does he say no?
Unless he's somebody that wants complete control. So he's not going to go somewhere where a GM or an owner is going to call the shots.
Well, I don't blame him because most of the GMs don't know shit. Look at the thing in Buffalo. Everybody blames the head coach, but the GM has been there for a long time. He's had a bunch of draft choices. They've never gotten the quality draft choice that turned into an all-pro or et cetera, et cetera. They get rid of the coach. Now, I've never been a big fan of defensive head coaches when you have a real talented quarterback. I don't like that, and I think they have a problem, and I'll get to it, in Tennessee because they just hired a defensive head coach with a young quarterback in Wade that needs development. Now, unless they can bring in an offensive head coach or offensive coordinator or a quarterback coach to develop him, he's not going to get where he needs to go. And that's my opinion about young quarterbacks. They need somebody that understands offense, not defense. They don't play defense. But the defensive head coaches, they have a different mentality. It's about stopping quarterbacks, not developing them.
Let me ask you your opinion. Of the current vacancies with the Bills, Ravens, Raiders, Browns, Steelers, and Cardinals, what's the best open job?
Well, I said it was Atlanta. Then a lot of people said it was the Giants. So I guess the Giants and Atlanta picked up two pretty damn good coaches.
They sure did.
I like Cignetti and I like Harbaugh. Although Harbaugh's got to prove to me that he can overcome that conservative nature he has.
Stefanski's going to Atlanta.
Yeah. Harbaugh has led the league in losing double-digit fourth-quarter leads, which that means something about the coach being too tight. You play not to win, you play, not to lose, that kind of thing, and you sit on leads. But there's I like what's going on with the Chargers right now. They pick up McDaniel as an offensive coordinator, and he's a genius at offensive coordinator position. Maybe not a great head coach, but under Harbaugh with Herbert, you get their offensive line back with Alt and what's the other guy's name we lost before the season even? I can't remember his name. It was so long ago. But their offensive line gets rebuilt. Now, they might lose their defensive coordinator because everybody's talking to him about getting a head coach job. But you got Harbaugh and McDaniel there. Look out for the Chargers next year. That could be big. Now, you also have got teams in that division that are also pretty good. In Kansas City and the Broncos. That's a very tough division. But there's a lot of great stuff out there. Who's the best job left out there?
And here's my thing with
Buffalo's a hell of a job.
It is, but let me ask you this. You got Josh Allen. But if you look at the Ravens, Raiders, Browns, Steelers, and Cardinals, and I'm not saying Josh Allen ain't the guy, but they all seem to have a quarterback problem.
I don't think they have a quarterback problem in Buffalo or the Chargers. I think they have the quarterback. I don't think they have the material around them. And that I don't believe those quarterbacks are failures. I think they're actually superstars with the wrong talent around them.
Do you think Miami made a good hire in Jeff Hafley, which is the Packers defensive coordinators, as their new head coach?
Again, you're bringing in a defensive coordinator following an offensive head coach. The quarterback issue there, Tua, I don't know. That's a very complicated hire for me. I would not have done that, but they did it. We'll see how it works out.
I think there's a lot of question marks at the quarterback position across the board in the NFL.
Well, because we have a lot of quarterbacks that are old.
Vikings have a big problem.
Pardon?
Vikings they don't have a vacancy. They got a problem at quarterback.
J.J. McCarthy did not show me anything. He did not look like an NFL quarterback. He looked like a deer in headlights. Kind of like, hey, talk about a problem. Stroud. What the hell happened to him?
I think pressure.
The stage is too big for him.
That's what I thought.
Okay, so pressure. If the stage is too big for him, how can you build around him for the future? I would have, the coach, in my opinion, did the wrong thing. You're in the game to coach the team for the city that you work for, not to develop the coordinate, the quarterback. The quarterback played bad in Pittsburgh. He played bad, very bad, the first half, in the last game against New England. You have a guy there in Davis Mills. Why not put him in? You're not there to protect Stroud. You're there to win a game for your team and for your city, not to worry about the kid's head and where it goes. He's already choking. So let the guy go in there that's actually played well this year and
I think maybe
win the game. They did have the best defense in the league.
I agree. And I'm not saying that Stroud, I think the pressure was definitely got to him. But I also think that some of these coaches get off the hook because they're not looked at the calls they're making, decisions they're making. And if you know your star guy doesn't have it and the pressure's too big, you have to make an in-game change to try and win that ball game somehow, some way. I've been on that stage. I've seen my best player in a game to get me to the Elite Eight absolutely not show up, and he didn't see this floor the second half. I'm trying to win a game to get to the next level. You have to make a decision.
I totally agree with you. I said to myself when I'm watching that, who the hell's this guy? Who's paying this guy? Stroud or his boss and the team? I mean, he's working for the team. They had a much better chance with Mills in there than they did with Stroud. Stroud will never be an NFL quarterback with that head case that he is.
Another team that's got a temporary quarterback situation is the Chiefs with Mahomes and his injury. But what do you think about their plan to bring back Eric Bieniemy as the new offensive coordinator again?
Well, he's a talented guy. Who's the backup quarterback going to be? Because you have an issue there.
That's what I mean. They got a temporary issue until Mahomes can get back. So they got to have somebody.
And when you bring a guy back after an injury like that, and with his pockets so full, you wonder, what are you going to get? So, I mean, there's a lot of changes. People don't stay at a high level forever.
No. There's a lot of question marks in the NFL.
Yes, there is. One that we don't talk enough about is the officiating, which is absolutely horrendous. I mean, you watch these games. If you watch one game, this is not a catch. You watch this game, this is a catch. I mean, it's crazy, and we're crazy enough to bet on it.
Well, let's get into two games we have this weekend on Sunday. The first is the AFC Championship with New England at Denver. Patriots are favored by 5.5. The total's 41.5. Weather's not going to be an issue for either team from where they're from. They're talking about 32 degrees at kickoff. Before we get into the quarterback situation, I want to know if you knew this. New England has won 15 of their last 16 games with their lone loss to Buffalo by 4 points. Did you know they're on a streak like that?
Yes.
When they're on a streak of 15 out of 16 and you're going to play to go to the Super Bowl for a team that does not have their star quarterback, I know this number is a big change from when Denver would have been favored, and it's now probably a 7-8 point swing. But to me, I'm not afraid of 5.5. Are you?
5.5 is ridiculous. It's too high.
You think it's too high?
Yeah, you don't make an 8-point change.
You think Stidman can keep him that close?
First of all, New England played the softest schedule in the league.
True.
Okay. And who did they just play and beat? Stroud, who likes turning the ball over and giving the ball to the other team. Okay.
Is he related to Jameson Winston?
He's little sisters and four. I mean, that was the most embarrassing thing. It was hard to watch that. It really was. No, this is crazy. Denver should be 2.5, 3 point favorite at home. They're number one seed. They have a great coach. They got a solid team, a reasonably good defense, not the great defense that Houston was. But to swing this up, I bet the game I took 6. It's insane. That alone is an 8.5, 9 point swing for a quarterback. You think this quarterback is not able to play? He's not a kid. He's been around a while.
But can he handle the pressure that this game's going to carry?
It's not him handling the pressure. It's Peyton. Peyton is a Super Bowl winning coach, knows how to coach. And he's got a whole week to prepare this guy. And you've got to remember, too, Peyton has always liked Stidham. So he invested in him and brought him over as the backup. There's a reason he's there. I really believe Denver's going to win the game straight up.
Wow. Okay, let me ask you this. Who does Denver need to bring in? I told you beforehand, my pick was Ryan Tannehill. To be on the sideline in case this kid gets hurt, and is somebody to be able to, that's been there, that can offer some advice to Stidman?
Well, first of all, I have to look back at Peyton's history. When he was in New Orleans and he had, what was his name? I can't remember the quarterback's name. Breeze. Yeah. He also had Bridgewater. And Bridgewater, I think, played 5 games for him, won all the games. Bridgewater knows Peyton. He knows the system. He knows how to play. That's who I bring in. I don't know the physical condition of Bridgewater at this point, but he's a smart guy. I happen to know that. And if you need a backup to sit him, he's who I want there because you don't have to explain a lot to him about Peyton's game theory and schemes. And where Tannehill has never played for him.
Makes
So
sense.
That's a whole different animal. So I want a guy that's worked for me before that I don't have to train. This is a big game. You're one game away from the Super Bowl. Now, don't ask me, but 2 weeks later, they have to play a Super Bowl. If they happen to win this game, then what?
They'll cross that bridge when they get there.
Yeah, definitely.
So you like the Denver and the points. Would you make a bet on Denver and the money line?
Already have.
Okay.
But the thing is, I took +6, and I bet like a quarter bet on the money line. So I have the +6.
Ray, you got a question on this game?
Oh, Ray's here.
Yeah,
Oh, good.
Yeah. All right, so here we got Carson Wentz, Teddy Bridgewater, Mitch Trubisky, Jacoby Brissett, Gardner Minshew, and Tyrod Taylor. All these guys are available right now to grab.
So then Bridgewater would be the best.
No,
pick.
wait a minute. Some of those guys are under contract to other teams.
I think that they're not. A couple of them are. If they really wanted them, they could go get them.
Bridgewater is the guy that knows the system, and that's what I'm going with. He's going to have a running game. He's going to have dump-off passes. He's going to have schemes to keep the ball away from New England.
Okay.
And then let his defense do the work. That's the game plan. But Peyton's going to have a little mix in there somewhere.
It sounds like you're going for the under as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So it's Denver money line, Denver plus the points and the under.
Yes.
Take it to the bank.
Yes.
You heard it from Jim Feist.
Well, take it to the bank, or I'll be down on Mission Street looking for food.
NFC Championship, we got the Rams at the Seahawks. The Seahawks are favored by 2.5. Totals 47.5. Seattle's won 12 of their last 13 games, but their only loss in November is to the Rams, 21-19. Do you like the Rams on the road here?
Well, this is a much more difficult game to call because you have Sean, you've got McVay, you've got Stafford, you got old pros that know how to win. Nothing scares them. You got Puka. I mean, this is a tough team. I thought they were the best team in football at the beginning of the year. I rated them as high. Seattle's a little bit of a surprise. They are absolutely playing the best ball right now. And when you look at the stats from last week, although it was in the cold, Chicago beat them every way but 2 ways. The turnovers, that was 3 turnovers, and they didn't win on the scoreboard. But other than that, yards per play, total yards, et cetera, Chicago won the game.
It's funny you say that because I said to myself when I'm watching the game, the football gods are making it even with the Bears for all the turnovers they've created, and now they're turning it over all game long. I'm like, this is what's happening. The football gods said, you got this big takeaway. We're going to take some from you today.
You're probably right. This is a hard game because Seattle, they're home. They have a good head coach. They got they got a quarterback that has had 2 fantastic years, but he has a history. And that history is ugly. When he gets in the biggest games, he comes up with some negative stuff. And we don't know. I don't think we're going to see that from Stafford, but Stafford lately has not been the same quarterback he was at the beginning of the year. He has made some mistakes. He has put the ball into danger. So, and Seattle's, they've got a great defense. Running game's tough. I mean, they got the wide receivers. They got.
You like this game under?
Oh boy, I have a hard time with this game.
Period.
In every which way, I really do. I don't. This is a game that well, first of all, I do it anyway. Live betting is going to be really, really important to me in this game.
So my question to you for this game is this. If this game comes down to the quarterbacks, who wins?
Just the quarterback?
Just the quarterback.
Well, it's going to be Stafford. Yeah, I know we're short-handed up here, but Chipper, come on over and ask Chipper.
Yeah, we'll go ask Chip.
He's been on this set for a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. We're missing 2 people today. So would you help us out?
Yeah.
Come on over.
We're gonna finish up talking about this game.
So what did you think about the college game? What did you see? What did you like? What did you dislike? Chipper and I have been working together for 46 years, so we do know each other a little bit. And he sent me a picture the other day, and he said, "Who the hell is that?" And I said, "What the hell?" I said, "What year is this from?" 1991. We went to the Miss Universe pageant. We looked young. We looked pretty
We
good.
look a lot better than we do now.
We're wearing tuxedos. We're out there.
I know.
So, Chip,
That was a great night.
let me get your thoughts on this NFC game first with Seattle and the Rams.
My first line I heard was 2.5, and I thought it was short. That was the first thing I thought, because the Rams are the least impressive team of the four entering this, of what we've seen. So I thought I'm just waiting and seeing what the public sentiment is on the game, and I think they're going to lay it. And I think it's very hard to take the Rams.
When you saw that,
You like Seattle in the game?
I mean, straight up, you put it in the backyard.
Okay.
I think they win. Who knows what kind of shenanigans they end up pulling? I mean, I saw within 4 plays that game was over. The last of the Buffalo game, and poof, the officials can take over at any time.
True. And so, as I asked Jim, if this game comes down to the quarterback, do the Rams win?
They should. I mean, Darnold's Hall of Fame. I mean, who's quarterback on the other side of the Rams? Stafford's a Hall of Famer, and Darnold is still waiting for him to play well in the big game. So
That's my question, because I think this game could come down to that position.
If you're going to play the quarterbacks, I think you'll definitely be on the Rams, particularly for getting any points at all.
last week, the Rams had to go to Chicago. The week before, they were on the road in Carolina. Now they're on the road against Seattle. And Seattle's a team that they play often. They're in the same division. Where Seattle had a cakewalk against San Francisco. So talking about tough games, I mean, the Rams had to go to overtime. Easily could have lost the game. They actually were outstatted in almost every way except the 3 turnovers.
Well, when I said have the Rams come in the least impressive, I mean, are you looking for them to? I'm looking for them to play a game, to put a game together, and they really haven't done it yet.
No.
And Seattle, like you said, had a cakewalk, and so if both sides come back a little bit towards the center, I don't expect Seattle to be able to perform on the same level. And the Rams, if the Rams don't get any better, they're not winning.
Now, the Rams have a pretty damn good coach. I mean, big high-level coach. What do you think of the coach for Seattle?
Look where he has them. I mean, what do I know about him? I mean, I know he's winning, and he's got Sam Darnold leading the way.
You know what I think is impressive about Seattle is, and you said it already, of the 4 remaining, they're playing the best football.
Oh, by far.
Right now.
Yeah.
By far.
And if they continue on this, there's a possibility they could blow the Rams out, just like they did San Francisco.
It looks
If
like
they play at the level they have been.
the only team they wouldn't blow out is probably the Indiana Hoosiers. That's the way I'm thinking of it right now. Otherwise,
That was a hell of a game. Chip, what's your thoughts on the AFC game with New England and Denver? Jim likes Denver on the money line, Denver plus the points and the under.
well, I'm sick about Knicks not being there. I mean, it just throws a monkey wrench on it. So I'm afraid Sidman, who hasn't played, or he's been around long enough that he should be able to execute. But this is such a big game.
That's my wonder. Can he handle the pressure?
Can a normal starting quarterback handle the pressure? Can Darnold be handling the pressure? And this guy hasn't played at all. And yet my instinct is that Denver's will rally the troops and the defense will take over. And maybe people have been looking for a hole or a vulnerability in the Patriots all year and haven't found one. Denver may find it, but the missing Knicks is sinful for us, because it would have made it really
It's a horrible loss.
more engaging.
Now, Patriots played the easiest schedule. And then last week was really not a great test because C.J. Stroud was on their team with all those four turnovers, 4 interceptions in the first half, which was pathetic. So they really haven't played anywhere near the schedule that Denver has played.
No question. And there's 2 things I can say about it. I saw the first pass that each quarterback threw last week. And first, I saw Stroud throw a ball. It was almost picked off, and I said, "Oh my goodness, they're done." From the first pass.
Yeah.
And then when New England got the ball, May's first pass was like 11, 12 yards, and he threaded it between two defenders. Regular receiver, always had good hands, caught it, and you could see the difference right there. So I think May's the difference, and I'd be surprised if New England doesn't win the game. I'm looking for it to be in the gaff.
I mean, Jim, here's my thought on this. I think a lot of people are still not giving May the credit he deserves.
I think he's the MVP. I know, but
I still think people do not
Stafford,
look at him as what he's done for this year.
Stafford has 46 touchdown passes, but May has just performed so well, and he hasn't turned the ball over, and
all season.
And this team, they had 4 wins last year. Look where they are.
What would the line have been if Knicks was still there?
Jim, I told you a million times. I don't make lines; I interpret them.
I want you to interpret this one.
What are you giving me now?
So he thinks that
What should the line have been? Denver would have been favored. What would the line be?
Probably 3 or 2.5, 3. I think.
So you justify a 9-point.
I didn't. Someone else is.
But can you justify a 9-point?
Yeah, I think so. Because he's pretty valuable running the ball as well, not just throwing the ball. I mean, he's a really, the cog in their offense, and completely. Well, all quarterbacks are, but I mean, he's evolved in 2 years. I mean,
well, I like May a lot, but if you put him up against the weakest schedule in the NFL this year, that bothers me.
I think Denver's defense out here has to dominate. For them to. So if you like Denver, you should be playing under, I would imagine.
I bet Denver. I bet the money line, and I bet the under.
So let me ask you. So let me ask you,
41 years now.
Jim. Let me ask you this: the 4 teams remaining, who do you think wins this?
For the Super Bowl?
Who wins the Super Bowl? The 4 left.
Seattle.
You think Seattle?
Yeah.
Chip, you agree?
Oh man, you make me make a commitment. I have.
Not a commitment. Kind of like you do with relationships.
All right, Rams. I'm going to give you the Rams because they haven't won anything. They haven't done anything yet. Okay.
You like the Rams, and I'm going to go with the Patriots.
Okay.
I like that as a final. Nice color coordination between the two sides. Unless they're going to wear all black, and then it ruins everything.
Right. So we talked about the you brought up the Indiana Hoosiers. We opened the show with that. So Chip, what's your thoughts on Cignetti? Does he stay, or is the NFL going to give him a big enough check to make him leave?
I hope he stays. That's my first
He
thought
keeps,
of doing.
I've heard 2 interviews since then, and he keeps saying he wants to show people he can do this again.
Good, because his style may not be conducive to NFL players' attitudes. I mean, he's got these. Wow, they run through a brick wall for him.
Yeah, and he's looking for those guys with chips on their
And
shoulders.
he's won everywhere. I mean, he's just won everywhere. I'm
Yeah,
surprised
Google
that he did it in his second season here. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, have you heard that? Have you heard that interview?
Yeah, Google me.
Google me.
That was the greatest.
All I do is win.
Is he married?
Yes.
His wife will make the decision.
Well, according to him,
You're really right.
Isn't that right, Sharon?
Yep.
Okay.
well, according to him, she loves Indiana, but maybe if Vegas writes a big enough check, she wants to come live in Vegas. I don't know.
Ooh.
Instead of Indiana? Sure.
He can bring his discipline here.
So here I said this to Jim before the show. Let me get your thoughts on this. If I'm the Raiders, I go get Cignetti, and I tell him I'm going to trade the number 1 pick, and I'm going to trade Crosby, and I'm going to get a bunch of guys in for you to have a foundation to build off of.
Well, then you probably end up seeing a lot of Indiana Hoosiers out here because half of them came from James Madison, where he coached previously.
Yep.
And so his players seem to be loyal, and they said, they like the idea of winning, that's for sure. And, when you watch that game, offensively and defensively, it's just so obvious how prepared they were.
It's
great offensive play calling at times, and defensively, Miami was totally stymied in the first half. Totally.
So the whole time that I watched Indiana all season, they never looked like they were surprised by anything due to their preparations. Like they got to find the ball.
They came down within the last minute against Penn State to win the game, needing a touchdown and getting it, and they've been clutch and they deserve it.
All right, Jim. So you said Seattle, you said the Rams, I said New England. You're taking Denver, and you don't know what you're doing on the second game, right?
Not yet. I'll be an in-game player in that one because I don't really. I'm going to see how they come out because how the rhythm of the game is, and the one question I have is Darnold in a big game. I know it's not going to affect Stafford. He's a pro and he's excellent, but Darnold is still a question mark.
And Chip, your 2 picks?
Well, like I said, I can see the Rams winning it. I don't know if I'd even give them out. You know,
I just hedge your bets. Is that what you?
first. I like the, I just May when he just put it in my head. I mean, I'm just looking at it. It's just May and Stafford be a great matchup, and like I
think it'd be a great game.
And of course, Denver would be a great storyline if you can get Stidham in there. But who wants to see him?
How about the coaches? Any edges to the coaches?
Oh,
They are pretty good. 4 good coaches.
well, they've got Grable hasn't been there before, has he?
Well, he coached at Tennessee and he played.
Oh, he was the number 1 seed. He got bounced.
Yeah. But he played for the Patriots years ago under Belichick.
Yeah, I was meaning as coaching wise.
Any questions out there from anybody?
I do.
Go ahead, Ray.
Yeah, why not? I like the Stidham thing. That's a good, cute story, Hallmark story, but I think it stops there. Even if they do sneak by, he's not going to win the Super Bowl. But my question is, Charbonnet's out in Seattle. And
Yes.
to me, it's not talked about enough. I think that's worth more on a handy. You ask a good defensive coach or whatever, they want a running back. It sounds weird, but it gives them more time and stuff like that. They have been unbelievable with the run. Not as good as Chicago, but unbelievable with Charbonnet and blocking, protecting Darnold and all that, and the defense. And does that, Chip, it's you, does that play into anything?
No,
I see you contemplating a lot. Does that play into what's going on?
I think he's really good back, and maybe that's why it's not 3.5.
Yeah.
Because like I said, when I first heard it was 2.5, I was a little taken back that it wasn't 3.
It's concerning, right? Because who else have they got back that they need?
Because
otherwise,
with those 2 backs, they're pretty tough.
If it turns into a shootout, like Tommy said, there could be a problem for Seattle, right?
You would figure.
Right.
And in the other game, like I said, if Denver has a chance, you have to think the game's going to stay under. You got Stidham at quarterback. You're going to have to. If you can't control May, you're not going to win.
And that's going to be the question mark for Denver's defense. If they step up and can keep him under contained, then that game's going to be close. If they can't, they're in trouble.
Denver's a tough place to play. Altitude's an issue. Peyton is a good coach. He's going to run the ball. He has a decent defense. It's not the same kind of defense as Houston has, but decent defense. He's had Stidham around for a lot of years. He's invested in Stidham because he brought him to a couple different places in his career, and he likes him a lot. And he's been around. He's not a young kid. So, he's going to protect him by running the ball and playing strong defense. That's one of the reasons I like the under. Now, May, young kid, 2 years in the league, really soft schedule. The last game, you really can't measure him at all. I mean, that garbage that he had to play with Stroud. I mean, how can you not win that game when Stroud's giving the ball to you all the time? So I don't know what the hell to think about that. But I think this is a big step up in class for a new coach and a young quarterback going to Denver. Denver's not an easy place to play. And that crowd's going to be intense. I just think Denver wins this game. And I took 6 on this damn game. I mean,
I think play calling is going to be really key. Who's the offensive coordinator who's calling the plays for the Patriots?
I don't know.
Well, that's going to be your key man in my mind because against this Denver defense, you're going to have something.
What is it? McDaniels? There we go.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right, so we want to thank J-Lo. We're going to give away the bottles of wine when we get done. Here's the big announcement. We will not, and that repeat, we will not be here next week. We are taking the week off. We'll be back in 2 weeks on Wednesday, February 4th, with Vinny Maguglio and Jeff Whitelaw to break down the Super Bowl. we're taking the week off next week. It's the bye week, and also I'm going to be leaving town. I'm going to go back to Clear Lake, Iowa for the winter dance party with my book and do a bunch of speaking engagements, so I'm going to be gone as well. But I'll be back in 2 weeks.
Did you get permission to do that?
I did. I asked
Okay.
you. So give a round of applause for Chip for stepping in. Jim Feist. My name is Tommy Canale. Make sure you get to Dom DeMarco's. Good luck on your bets, and we'll see you guys in 2 weeks back here on February 4th.